Community Access Television and the National Federation of Business and Professional Women's Club honors Nevada Women in History for the month of March 1994. In today's program, we'll honor those women who have meant a great deal to Nevada history. The National Federation of Business and Professional Women's Clubs has several objectives. 1, to elevate the standards for women in business and in the professions. 2, to promote the interests of business and professional women. 3, to bring about a spirit of cooperation among business and professional women in the United States. And 4, to extend opportunities to business and professional women through education along lines of industrial, scientific, and vocational activities. Cheryl A, Nevada, is the Nevada Secretary of State. Her background includes she was elected to the Secretary of State's office in 1990. She was previously Deputy Attorney General with the Nevada Attorney General's Office, Professor of Music at California State University in Sacramento, and a Director, a Graduate Division of the Music Department at Cal State. Her education includes Indiana University out of Bloomington, Indiana, Smith College out of Northampton, Massachusetts, the University of Oregon in Eugene, Oregon, and the University of San Francisco in San Francisco, California, where she holds bachelor's, master's, doctorate, and Juris Doctorate degrees. Her current and past associations and affiliations include a past chair of Nevada Women's Commission, a board member with the Tahoe Regional Planning Agency, past chair of the Tahoe Reno Planning Agency, a board member with the Western Nevada Community College Foundation, chair of the National Commission for the Renewal of American Democracy, a member of the National Association of Secretaries of State, a member of Women Executives in State Government, vice chair in 1992 of the Republican National Platform Committee, where she was a speaker at the Republican National Platform, a Nevada's Outstanding Republican Woman in 1993. She is also a member of International Who's Who of Professional and Business Women, a member of Who's Who of American Women, and Who's Who in American Politics.
Felice Cohn, a practicing attorney in Reno, was the 4th president of the Reno Business and Professional Women's Club. While attending the National Federation of Business and Professional Women's Club convention in New Orleans in 1928, she was so inspired that she decided to do something about organizing a state federation. Requirements were that there must be a minimum of 3 clubs to form a state federation. The only club in Nevada at the time was the Reno Club, which had been chartered in 1920. The Fallon BPW Club was organized by Felice Cohn with the assistance of Dr. Christy Brown, Suzette Copran, and Hattie Raphael. A month later, the Elko BPW Club was organized. With the required number of clubs, the first state convention was called for May 14, 1929, for the purpose of forming a state federation. 8 BPW members attended, 4 from Reno, 2 from Fallon, and 2 from Elko. They organized the state federation, elected officers, with Felice Cohn as president, prepared the Constitution and bylaws, and applied for membership in the National Federation. Felice Cohn died May 24, 1961. The Nevada businesswoman was ready to go to press at the time. The following is from the June convention issue. For Felice, the door opens. As we go to press, word comes of the opening of another door for our dear Felice Cohn. Early Monday morning, May 24th, the door opened, and with her characteristic forthrightness and her courage, Felice walked through, and for a while we, her friends, remain on this side of the door. Felice was known and loved by us all, and so many more too, that just our limited BPW ranks. Our Felice was a pioneer in opening doors. She loved the broad horizons of the new and the untried. This is but another of the uncharted voyages she loved so well.
A resident of Elko, Nevada, Maime Marie Henry Bill celebrated her 110th birthday on October 15, 1993. The Western Shoshone Historical Preservation Society salutes her for as one of the oldest elders alive. She greatly deserves to be honored, respected, and most of all admired by the youth for her strong will and determination to be here with us. In 1883, many Native Americans were struggling to survive as the Euro-American invasion was sweeping across the land, destroying a people and way of life that has not really found its way back into this modern society. This great matriarch survived a part of Native American history that many Native Americans today are trying to preserve and protect for our youth so that they may look back into the documentation and read about Maime Marie Bill. Survival is the Native American way, and Maime Marie Bill is a living example of the pride and dignity of all Native Americans.
Reno Municipal Court Judge Janet Berry was educated at Cal State Sacramento with a degree in criminal justice and obtained her Juris Doctorate at Tulane University School of Law. She was admitted to practice in Louisiana in 1980, California in 1982, and Nevada in 1982. She served as a law clerk for a U.S. District Court judge in New Orleans in 1980 to 81 and for the Chief Justice of the Nevada Supreme Court in 1981 to 82. She was in private practice in Reno with the firm of Davenport and Perry until being appointed to the bench. Legal experience includes appellate, personal injury, workman's compensation, divorce and family law, wrongful termination, insurance bad faith, and criminal law. In February 1992, she was selected by the Reno City Council to fill an unexpired term in the Reno Municipal Court. She was elected to a full 4-year term in the city's spring elections. The majority of common criminal misdemeanor violations which occur in our city end up in Reno Municipal Court, including charges such as spousal battery, trespassing, petty theft, solicitation, panhandling, DUI, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Judge Berry has implemented a volunteers in probation program and a separate jobs program for young violators. Volunteers from the community help supervise misdemeanor offenders, providing strict supervision and serving as role models for those on probation. She has also worked with the police department's community action team to address gang-related activities and is a founding member of the Washoe County Task Force on Domestic Violence, which will work to improve the community's efforts in dealing with violence in the home. She and her husband Dave have 2 elementary school-aged children.
Patty Cafferata came to Reno, Nevada just prior to her 10th birthday. She attended St. Thomas Aquinas Grade School and upon graduation attended Bishop Minogue High School, graduating in 1958. Patty was active in student government and was a JV cheerleader and varsity cheerleader while at Minogue. Then she attended Mills College in Oakland, California for 3 years. She married her husband, Treat Cafferata, a Reno native, in 1961. He was a medical student at the time at the University of Oregon. Nevada did not have a medical school in those days. Patty transferred to Lewis and Clark College and graduated with a degree in elementary education. Her first daughter, Elisa Urquiaga, was born just before finals her senior year. Her second daughter, Farrell Cafferata, was born just after she graduated. The Cafferatas moved to San Francisco, where Treat completed his internship and surgical residency. During those 6 years, Patty taught speed reading, and their son Reynolds was born. After a tour in the military, the family moved back to Reno to stay. Patty grew up in a politically active family. Her late father, Ken Dillon, was chairman of the National Republican Party, and her mother is Congressman Barbara Vucanovich. Patty was first involved in party politics and in the political campaigns of Ronald Reagan, Bob List, and Paul Laxalt. In 1978, she ran for state treasurer. She won the Republican nomination, but lost the general election to Stan Colton. In 1980, Patty ran and won a seat in the Nevada State Assembly, District 25. She served on Judiciary, Taxation and Labor, and Management committees. After the session, Patty served on the following interim committees: Planning for Prisons, Mass Transit, and Review of the First Nevada Drunk Driving Laws. Cafferata then ran for state treasurer again in 1982. She beat Bob Barango to become the first woman in Nevada history to be elected to a statewide constitutional office. In 1986, Cafferata was the Republican nominee for governor. Richard Bryan, incumbent governor, handily won re-election. At that point, Cafferata went to law school. She took a 2-year course at Southwestern School of Law in Los Angeles. During law school, she interned in Mills Lane's office when he was district attorney. After law school, Cafferata clerked for District Court Judge David Gamble in Gardnerville, Nevada. She is a member of both Nevada and California bars. After her clerkship, she ran for district attorney of Lyon County, after some citizens had asked her to do so. It was not a successful campaign. In Nevada, until that election, There had only been 3 women in history to serve as district attorney of that county. 1 had been appointed, 2 elected, and 1 was a re-election. In 1990, the year Cafferata ran, 3 other women were elected district attorney in Washoe, White Pine, and Pershing counties. Next, Cafferata opened her law office in Reno. Later, she formed a corporation with Connie Steinheimer, who subsequently was elected district judge. At that time, their association was dissolved. Meanwhile, Cafferata served as deputy district attorney in Eureka, Nevada. She handled all criminal matters in justice and district courts. From Eureka, Cafferata was appointed Lincoln County District Attorney, a position she held for 1 year. She did not file for election to that post, so when the term expired, she came back to Reno to practice full-time in the areas of wills, trusts, and probate and other civil matters. Over the years, Cafferata has been involved in many community activities, such as the Doctors' Wives, Boy Scouts of America, and St. Mary's Hospital Pink Lady program. She enjoys the out-of-doors, walking, reading, and playing bridge.
This is Julia Trento Edera. Her history began with the marriage of Simon Peter Trento and Blanche Katie Edera in 1874. The couple left Italy in 1883 and immigrated to Eureka, Nevada, where they had relatives. Simon was employed as a charcoal burner for a time and also worked in the mines in Eureka. During the long married life of the Trentos, 12 children were born to the family. Some were born in Italy, and the rest were born in Eureka, Nevada, and the Italian Creek Ranch, which Simon Peter Trento purchased in 1886. In 1905, a marriage was arranged between Julia Trento and Peter Anthony Edera. They left Eureka and moved to San Francisco in 1905, where a son named Simon was born in 1906. In 1906, Julia became very ill, and on the advice of her doctor, she took her young son and returned to Eureka, Nevada, where her parents could take care of her and her son. Shortly after Julia's departure, the big earthquake hit San Francisco, and all of their belongings were lost, except for a little money that Peter was able to save. Peter returned to Eureka to be with his wife and son. Peter and Julia purchased the Italian Creek Ranch from Julia's parents. When the sale was complete, Julia's parents returned to Italy along with one of their daughters. Peter ran the ranch and worked in the mines while Julia took in laundry and sold bread to help the family income. During the marriage, 11 children were born. In late 1920, Peter and Julia sold Italian Creek Ranch and moved to Goodwin Canyon, just outside of Eureka, where they built a home and resided until their deaths. Peter went to work in the Eureka mines until a mining accident crippled him for life, and the burden of earning a living fell upon Julia. Julia then again started baking bread and taking in laundry, as well as taking care of other people in order to feed her family. She was known as a very gentle lady, and her priest referred to her as a real saint if there ever was one. Julia toiled over a wood stove all day long. She had no hot running water, nor any indoor plumbing until the early 1960s. She never complained, but raised her children with confidence, and then her grandchildren. A great deal of credit has to be given to Julia for all of her work in raising such a large family under rather unfavorable conditions. Peter died in 1960, and Julia died in 1981. Peter and Julia had 11 grandchildren, most of whom have remained in Nevada. Through all her hardships, Julia encouraged her children and grandchildren to get an education and be somebody. She was a very religious lady who believed that God would guide her and her family in the right way. Although she is gone, she encouraged her granddaughters to get an education and to work hard. From this encouragement, her grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren have become teachers, lawyers, social workers, paralegals, policewomen, and have pursued many successful careers. Her memory will long live on in the hearts of many generations of her family to come. She believed that every person was a worthwhile human being and born to fulfill a dream. She believed that female members of her family had a right to an education and to work at a job of their choosing, not just to be housewives. The people of Eureka, Nevada will long remember her and what a wonderful person she was.
A prominent Las Vegas businesswoman and philanthropist, Dorothy D. Brimacombe, founded Nike House on May 1, 1972, as a home for abused girls. She recognized the need for a residential treatment program to provide services for adolescent females who are experiencing dysfunction related to substance abuse and its associated problems. Working tirelessly for the cause, she secured funding and support from the community, enlisting the aid of the Las Vegas Business and Professional Women's Clubs. A former teacher, she taught and inspired many young people in the state of Washington. Later, she became a reporter and then editor at the Las Vegas Age, where she sought to inform readers about issues facing them. She and husband Alfred operated Service Printers, a well-respected Las Vegas printing firm, as well as a retail outlet store. She was active in numerous community and professional groups, including Business and Professional Women, an organization that remains active in overseeing Nike House. Although Brimacombe died in 1989, her hopes and goals for Nike House continue through the Dorothy D. Brimacombe Foundation, which provides financial support for the nonprofit home.
Katherine Hodencamp of Reno, Nevada, has been a volunteer at large for many years, averaging 25 to 35 hours a week for a total of 1,820 hours per year. How Kate became a volunteer is a shining example. In 1968, Kate found herself a single mom with 4 children to raise. At that time of her life, she found situations difficult, but with her grit and determination, she got through those lean years, always remembering those times, vowing to assist others and to make their lives easier and help give them their dignity. As time progressed, she was employed by Elderport in a paid position. In those hours, working for seniors, she found so many needs, so much hunger and need for friendships, which caused her to bring her philosophy into practice very quickly. Kate became a very familiar face in the Washoe County area, establishing contacts with hungry people, getting people to the needed agencies that could assist them in the services needed. She also helped with their paperwork. That alone encompassed above and beyond the call of duty. Then began making stops at nursing homes asking, "What can we do over there? Those people need sunshine too." Again, Kate got her little army going because now she had worked with so many people who could assist. Kate's basic philosophy is, what goes around, comes around. She later remarried, and with the children grown up, Kate found much happiness in her personal life, and many times was known to say, "You gotta keep working at it." After being married for 5 years, her husband became very seriously ill. For the last 5 years, Kate has been working at nursing and meeting her husband's needs. In the interim, she has never lost sight of her ongoing projects. To add another step to the commitment of this lady's life, she adopted her grandson due to the tragic death of her son. How fortunate this boy is to have such a mom. Kate is now an RSVP volunteer, and I'm sure never signs in all her hours, which are astronomical. Kate is a doer, a hard worker, and a woman who has overcome tragedy, adversity, personal sorrow, and in doing so has enhanced her community with the many rainbows of nurturing friendships, reaching hands, and in meeting so many urgent needs. In some cases, bringing homeless persons into her home to give them a fresh start. Kate is a household name to many.
Georgia Maxfield organized the Northern Nevada Amputee Support Group 7 years ago, and this is now her 4th term as a director of the Board of Directors of the Amputee Coalition of America, a national unit, and she has been the treasurer for the ACA for the last 3 years. She writes and produces the newsletter for the Northern Nevada Amputee Support Group, manages the office, mans the phones, writes grants, does fundraisers, hospital visitations, and personal counseling. She distributes video library tapes, mails books, keeps books, and does refreshments. The pain clinic is administered in her home. She did some volunteer work at the Shrines Children's Hospital in Portland, Oregon back in the 1950s. Her first child was born with a club foot in 1951, and the Shrine helped her. She collected money for years for the Easter Seal program. She did the Neighborhood Heart Fund, cancer donations, TB, and related health service needs for the community. In Yerington, she belonged to the Rabacus Lodge and marched with their drill team in fundraiser attempts. She was a member of the Paisan Annies, the Women's Auxiliary to the 2030 Club, doing community service activities. She lost her leg in a motorcycle accident in June of 1986. Her pelvis was separated, and the left arm and right leg femur were broken. The left leg was severed above the knee. She was hospitalized for almost 3 months and unable to stand for 5 months. It was a long road back. Her husband and her had been round and square dancers in Reno for over 25 years. They have now been able to return to round dancing. It took 4 years, but they made it. They dance with the Twillaways, the Silver Rounds, the Merry Mixers, and the Bojanglers. These clubs are mostly for fun and entertainment, but also do benefit dances and community service events. She's made 2 trips to Washington, D.C. as an advocate for prosthetics and orthotics in 1992 and in 1993 for the Clinton Health Plan. Georgie Maxfield continues to amaze with the things she accomplishes, although she is continually in pain. She has nationally brought Northern Nevada Amputee Support Services to share with other states interested in such a much-needed program. The high point of this is that it is all volunteer-staffed.
Kathleen Rand, a lifelong resident of the Reno-Sparks area, is a graduate of Sparks High School, Truckee Meadows Community College, and holds a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from the University of Nevada, Reno. Also, Kathleen is a trustee for Truckee Meadows Fair Housing. She is a single parent whose greatest treasure is her 6-year-old daughter. Kathleen is a buyer for the City of Sparks and has worked for the city since June 1983. In January 1993, Kathleen founded the Northern Nevada Women's Network Incorporated, along with NNWN co-founder Angie Ureta. The network enjoys a membership in excess of 100 members. The NNWN Incorporated is a member network of the National Association for Female Executives, NAFE, the largest business women's organization in the United States. NNWN is dedicated to helping businesswomen enhance their personal and professional goals through education, networking, and community involvement. Kathleen is listed in the 11th edition of the World Who's Who of Women, the 4th edition of 2000 Notable American Women, and the 3rd edition of the International Who's Who of Professional and Business Women. Kathleen volunteers her time to the City of Sparks Community Support Funding Committee, and she enjoys history, travel, foreign language. She speaks 3 languages fluently. In her spare time, her latest project is writing a mystery novel with fellow writer Susan Fix. A member of Nevada Federation of Business and Professional Women for decades, Yolanda West became involved with Nike House in 1975. West attended meetings and saw the great value that Nike House provided and became secretary to the board. A few years went by and Nike House was closed. West was one of the 2 individuals who went to juvenile court and welfare departments almost daily, fighting to make sure the house would be reopened. That dream was finally realized. Yolanda served as president of Nike House for years. She now serves on the board of directors. Through her leadership, the house has been running smoothly once again. Nike House was incorporated May 1, 1972, which has evolved from a short-term, 6 months or less program, providing residential therapeutic intervention for young women, ages 13 through 17, and also their families who were experiencing problems with substance abuse, to a long-term, up to 2 years program now, that provides a broader range of therapeutic intervention covering physical, sexual, substance abuse, and their associated areas of dysfunction, neglect, chins, and delinquent behavior. Nike House has served hundreds of young women in its 20-plus year history. Yolanda West has had much to do with Nike House's worthy success.
Cheryl A. Jackson, director of the newly formed Department of Employment, Training, and Rehabilitation, a multifaceted agency comprised of the state's Employment Security Division, Vocational Rehabilitation Division, Job Training Office, Nevada Equal Rights Commission, State Occupational Information Coordinating Committee, Committee to Hire the Handicapped, Governor's Committee on Employment of People with Disabilities, Drug Czar, and Substance Abuse Programs. In overseeing the various divisions of the department, Jackson's charge is to realign the divisions in accordance with the governor's mandate to reorganize state government, eliminating duplication of services to afford an integrated system of reemployment to the citizens of Nevada in a comprehensive, customer-oriented, customer-friendly atmosphere, efficiency, effectively, and economically. She comes to the Department of Employment, Training, and Rehabilitation equipped with the necessary experience and credentials to achieve the governor's charge. Jackson earned a master's degree in public administration from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas in 1991, received a bachelor's degree in liberal studies with emphasis in management, finance, and business, and certification of gerontology, also from UNLV in 1988. completed studies at the National Judicial College, University of Nevada, Reno, in administrative law, fair hearing, and earned an associate's degree in general studies with emphasis in business and economics from the Clark County Community College in 1984, all while working as a full-time public servant. Jackson has spent more than 23 years in public service, working her way up in the state career ladder from her post as student aide, grade 10. She most recently was director for the State Department of Industrial Relations, where she oversaw the 5-division agency of administrative services, industrial insurance regulation, enforcement of industrial safety and health, and mine inspection. There, she coordinated and provided direction for the divisions and was instrumental in testifying and drafting new legislation with regards to industrial insurance, mining, occupational safety and health, and workplace safety for the 1993 legislative session. She is a member of Governor Bob Miller's cabinet, Interstate Conference of Employment Security Agencies, the Governor's Interagency Task Force on Workers' Compensation, the National Organization of Women Executives in State Government, National Association of Female Executives, Advisory Board, public member to the Public Administrative Department of UNLV, the NAACP, member UNLV Alumni Association, ex officio member of the Nevada Council on Libraries and Literacy, and who's who among professional American women for 1993. Jackson's former affiliations include board member for the Western Association of Workers' Compensation, member of the International Association of Industrial Accidents Boards and Commissions, National Association of Elevator Authorities, National Board of Boiler and Pressure Vessel Inspectors, and Nevada's designee for federal OSHA. Jackson is a native Nevadan. She and her husband Thomas have 2 daughters, Renice and Rosalind.
Lieutenant Governor Sue Wagner, the first woman ever elected lieutenant governor in Nevada, began her political career in 1975 in the Nevada Assembly. In the 16 years she served in the Assembly, and then in the Senate, she distinguished herself as a leader on issues dealing with open government, campaign reform, women's and children's issues, and family law. She sponsored legislation strengthening open meeting requirements and campaign finance reporting procedures. She led the successful effort to find funding for services for displaced homemakers and victims of domestic violence. And she was a driving force in the passage of Question 7, the 1990 ballot issue which preserved a woman's right of choice in Nevada. As Lieutenant Governor, Sue Wagner chairs the critically important Nevada commissions dealing with tourism and economic development. On the national level, she chairs the National Conference of Lieutenant Governors Task Force on Economic Development. Sue has been widely recognized for her dedication to public service and her commitment to Nevada families. She's been honored with the Distinguished Public Service Award from the Anti-Defamation League and Humanitarian of the Year Award from the National Conference of Christians and Jews. She was the American Mothers Association Nevada Merit Mother of the Year, and she was named Woman of the Year by the Governor's Commission on the Status of Women. The business and professional women have twice recognized her as their Woman of the Year and Outstanding Woman of the Year. She received the Sarah Optimist International's Women's Helping Women Award and the Committee to Aid Abused Women honoring her with the Hannah Humanitarian Award.
Congresswoman Barbara Vucanovich, the first woman elected to a federal office in Nevada, is currently serving her 6th term in the U.S. House of Representatives. Vucanovich has earned the respect of her colleagues and has moved up in the seniority system in Congress. She serves on the powerful House Appropriations Committee, where she is the ranking minority member or co-chairman of the Military Construction Subcommittee, and also sits on the Agricultural and Water Subcommittee. The work demands of the Appropriations Committee normally preclude serving on any other committee. Vucanovich, however, was granted a waiver so she would not have to relinquish her seat on the House Natural Resources Committee. She is ranking minority member of that committee's Energy and Mineral Resources Subcommittee and also serves on the Oversight and Investigation and the Insular and International Affairs Subcommittees. Since first being elected, Vucanovich has used her committee assignments to advance legislation to assist Nevada's ranchers and farmers, small businessmen, and senior citizens, and has been a leader in the fight against breast cancer.
Nevada Appeal City Editor Sue Morrow has been with the Capital City Daily for 29 years, starting as a reporter and later reporter-photographer before becoming city editor, a post she held for almost 20 years. She has won several awards, including those presented by the Don Ray Media Group, of which the Appeal was until recently a member, and from the Nevada Press Association. Among the awards were one for a series on violence at the Nevada State Prison, and the other on the ties between former Nevada Supreme Court Justice E.M. Al Gunderson and 3 sitting members of the High Court and the apparent influence he continued to wield with the court. Morrow moved to Nevada in late 1961 from Palma de Mallorca, Spain, where she had been living and wrote for a bullfight weekly. Born in Augusta, Maine, she was the daughter of a regular naval officer and traveled extensively throughout the United States, attending numerous different schools. Morrow's journalistic career has spanned 6 Nevada governors, beginning with Grant Sawyer in 1962. She has covered a number of sessions of the legislature, as well as high-profile court trials. As a photographer, she covered President Johnson's visit to Reno shortly after he assumed the presidency, Judy Garland's discharge from Carson Tahoe Hospital, where she had been a patient after suffering a drug overdose at State Line, and the 1963 Paradise Airline crash at Genoa Peak that claimed 86 lives, among other events. Morrow is scheduled to retire from the Appeal March 1st, but hopes to keep her hand in, writing occasionally for the Appeal.
Attorney General Frankie Sue Del Papa is a native Nevadan. She received her Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science and Pre-Law with distinction from the University of Nevada, Reno in 1971, and received her law degree from the National Law Center of George Washington University in 1974. She served as staff assistant to U.S. Senator Alan Bible from 1971 to 1974, and as law clerk to U.S. District Judge Bruce Thompson until 1975. She practiced law for 12 years and was also elected to the University of Nevada Board of Regents, where she served from 1980 to 1986. In January 1987, she was sworn in as Nevada Secretary of State, the first woman to hold this office. She was elected Secretary of the National Association of Secretaries of State in 1989. As Secretary of State, she spearheaded election reform legislation, computerization, and modernization of the office, and is responsible for Nevada's tough anti-fraud securities law. She has served on critical state policy-making boards, including the Highway Board, the Prison Commission Board, and the Board of Examiners. As first woman elected to the office of Attorney General in Nevada, General Del Papa is immediate past chairman of the Nevada Commission for Women, serves on the National Board of Women Executives in State Government, a member of West Trends, the National Advisory Committee for the Trust for Public Lands, past chair of the National Association of Attorneys General Insurance Committee, and member of the following NAAG committees: Children and the Law Subcommittee, Elderly Civil Rights Issues Subcommittee, Consumer Protection Subcommittee, Executive Gaming Work Group, the Energy Scams Task Force. In addition, she has served on numerous boards for women's issues and the arts. Thank you for joining Sierra Nevada Community Access Television and the National Federation of Business and Professional Women's Clubs as we honor Nevada Women in History for the month of March 1994.